Standard historical records are not continuous timelines. They function as a redacted loop, a closed system designed to obscure a specific expiration date. Human history operates on a 120 Jubilee countdown. Calculating 120 cycles of 50 years results in a 6,000-year timeline. Ancient manuscripts like the Kupale and Enoch track this progression using a 364-day mechanical calendar, providing a count that does not drift over the centuries. We can reconstruct the universal file of evidence by forensically auditing institutional changes to language, genealogy, and calendar mathematics. When these systemic redactions are corrected, the 6,000-year timeline converges on a single mathematically fixed terminus in October 2026. History is a legally binding lease with a 6,000-year expiration. Institutional forces have scrambled the clock to prevent the public from auditing this final deadline. The first layer of the audit targets the linguistic shift from ancient Ge'ez and Hebrew into Latin and Greek. The ancient Ge'ez fetal was a mechanical tool for tracking time. These characters served as precise data markers for recording lineage and chronology. Translators initiated a jurisdictional swap by replacing the name Yeshua with the Hellenized substitute, Jesus. This change is significant because Yeshua provides the mathematical link between a birth on the 17th day of the month and a resurrection on the 17th. The substitute name carries no such frequency. A similar substitution replaced Ab, the mechanical term for the root of the timeline, with the generic institutional title, Lord. This shift was codified by the Council of Nicaea and Roman institutional forces to centralize authority under a new administrative framework. At the Council of Ephesus, the biological mother, a physical marker for a birth on June 17, 2 BCE, was elevated to a theological icon to hide the physical chronology of the lineage. These alterations were a jurisdictional move, taking the population out of a mathematical framework and placing them under Roman administrative law. The second phase of the audit focuses on the physical redaction of the genealogical timeline. This historical edit appears in the compilation of the Latin Vulgate around 382 CE. Scribes redact the record by skipping 4 specific kings in the lineage of the Messiah: Ahijah, Joash, Amijah, and Jehoiakim. The original record in 1 Chronicles shows 17 generations in this block. The Latin version forces a pattern of exactly 14. Skipping those 4 names removed exactly 70 years from the public historical clock. This deletion changed the shape of history, turning a continuous chronological pulse into a closed symmetrical loop controlled by the institution. The 1414 pattern is not a holy number. It is a 70-year accounting fraud designed to desynchronize the public from the true 6,000-year lease. The final mechanism of the imperial loop was the physical manipulation of the calendar. In 1582, Pope Gregory XIII issued a decree to replace the Julian calendar to fix what he called a seasonal drift. The reform was a physical deletion of 10 days. The world went to sleep on October 4 and woke up on October 15. This deletion physically interrupted the continuous 7-day weekly cycle that had tracked time since antiquity. This was a tactical strike to sever the connection between Western civilization and the original 364-day solar calendar. The uncorrupted count survived only because it was preserved in the Ethiopian highlands, isolated from the Roman era. Deleting those 10 days ensured that by the time 2026 arrived, the public would be looking at the wrong date on the wrong calendar. We can now finalize the universal file of evidence by reversing these 3 redactions. We inject the 70 deleted years and the 10 missing days back into the historical model. We restore the ancient Fidel roots, aligning the timeline to its original frequency. This locks in the 1 BCE anchor. When we calculate from the June 17th birth and the Nisan 17th resurrection, the recurring pattern of the 17th day becomes an undeniable coordinate. These corrections reveal that historical events are part of a predictable series of interlocking mathematical gears. With the 1 BCE anchor in place, the 120th Jubilee spans exactly 6,000 years, terminating in 2026. The 6,000-year lease concludes in 2026. The expiration of this lease is a mechanical event with specific requirements documented in the original manuscripts. The primary unfulfilled requirement is the sounding of the 120th Jubilee trumpet. According to the 364-day count, the 10th day of the 7th month lands on October 10, 2026. This date marks the closing of the court. It is a final debt clearance that revokes the legal right of institutional systems to rule. The end of the age is the mechanical expiration of a 6,000-year contract.